we're going to highlight and put a link up for the North Shore Lifeguard Association, so you guys can go and donate to the North Shore Lifeguards for what they do in and out of the water. They are the guardian angels for everyone in the ocean in Hawaii. And with me, I have Dave Wassell, a long time big wave charger and North Shore Lifeguard. And I just want to have Dave explain when you do donate, what that money goes to, what it goes towards, and how it helps the North Shore Lifeguards help us in the water.
Thanks, James. Thanks for having me. First of all, yeah, you're not going to see the lifeguards walking around with a brand new set of shoes or anything like that. All the money goes straight back into the community. Our mission statement is simple. We're there to protect the public, but furthermore, we want to actually educate and promote ocean safety, and we do that through our junior lifeguard program. We're very fortunate that over the past 21 years, we've had great people, anyone from the Florence brothers, Eli Olson, Jack Johnson. Those are some of the more famous names who've been junior lifeguards. But through that, we get individuals who become lifeguards in the future. And so that's where that money goes. It doesn't go to us, it goes back to the community. And we're very proud to be able to do that and offer the kids something to do during the summertime. Idle hands can lead to wrongdoing. So we keep them busy. Parents are stoked. When the kids come home, they're tired and educated.
Yeah. I can attest to the junior lifeguard program. I've been down the pipeline. I've actually helped out through the week there in summer times. And the beautiful thing about this is that some of the money that you may donate, help the junior lifeguard program, that kid that's doing that may save your life down the track one time. So it's a beautiful thing. Please check out the link, click on it, donate if you can. We appreciate you, Dave. We appreciate the North Shore Lifeguards. And I hope you really enjoy the episode with Mikey O'Shaughnessy, aka Mikey Red. Thank you.
I always get the first wave.
Pretty much, it brought me to tears. Like, the wave was so good.
That's the biggest drop I've ever taken in my life.
And so right there, I told myself I needed to just relax and stay calm, that I'm stronger than this.
And, in transitioning into the pipeline wipeout, I guess, it's like, what effect did that knockout at Jaws have on, when you hit your head there, so that's the perfect transition. So let's go back to the Valentine's Day
swell at Pipe, and let's just not sure if you've talked about it yet but let's just talk us through the day. Let's just start off, because it was a pretty big hype swell, and let's just start off on how that day started off for you, and we'll roll through the scenario of what happened.
100%. So yeah, the Valentine swell pipeline, first thing in the morning, checking the waves, it's going off. So getting everything's all organized, we're ready, just kind of trying to watch the lineup and study which waves you want to catch, where you want to catch them. And that's my normal routine, kind of just looking for what I want to get and where I'm going to get. So ended up having a great first session. Ended up scoring 2 nice barrels, one left, one right, and a couple other successful rides. So by that time it was lunchtime, and I was ready to refuel, and trying to time it with the crowd is always hard. So yeah, just picking the right window. But on these special swells or special days, it's usually good all day. So trying to gauge, how you feel with the crowd and what you received already. Trying to also be really thankful and content for the gifts that, we're given. Because like I said, it's life and death. So yeah, always, it's a high stress environment out there. Came in, got lunch, probably should have just stayed out there because the window of going in wasn't the right call. Yeah, the waves are firing all the way through, so that was a little head trip, but refueled, got back out there. Just before getting back out there, sitting on the beach with Flynn and Keone Nozaki, a bunch of the boys, Ayala, Kala, just evaluating it. as just before like paddling out, had all my sunscreen, my helmet on. A little onshore kind of came in. There was a little sea breeze, and kind of a lot of people started coming in, and it was still barreling. So, just trying to study it and make the right call, but ended up paddling back out there as the little texture was challenging for everybody, but sometimes that's the window, yeah. So you want to be out there and do the best you can. But so I don't really have a recollection from seeing the wave or even like paddling out. I remember being on the beach with the boys and saying goodbye to my girlfriend and just preparing for battle.
Yeah.
Got out there. It was probably around 5 or 10 minutes. Sometimes you wait 4 hours. Sometimes the wave comes in 30 seconds. So just trying to be ready at the right place, the right time, and paddle your ass off. So ended up, I think the wave came. I seen that it was a right, and I love going right. It's but on those big days where it's like 6 to 12 feet. The rights are pretty treacherous, and a lot of them are all closeouts. And then the current and everything, the reef, it's just no man's land. I have a slight memory of falling on the wave, kind of like just seeing a beautiful runway, and I was already swan diving by then, and on impact again, knocked out. So quick flash, getting sucked over the falls. Came to for a second. My last thought I remember having was, oh no, this is not good. And then I have no recollection.
Wow. So, and for most people it's worst case scenario at Pipeline, right? Because you're in the peak, you're right in the apex, and we see it all the time where guys are too late or whatever, like that famous Andy Irons ones where he's like trying to get out the back and get sucked over with the lip, but you fell, and was it the impact from the reef, do you think, or just the impact of just that hitting the water that flashed you out? Can you remember that? Or
I think a lot had to do with it. A lot of it had to do with my wipeout at Jaws. So I was still coming back from that, and then on impact I hit the water first, and that's what knocked me out again. And then coming over straight down into the reef. But you came to as you were getting sucked over just for a little bit. For one thought. And then it was all black, no euphoric moment, no white light, just straight out. And my next kind of memory is just being on the beach, on the stretcher, on the backboard, and all the lifeguards and everybody, all my rescuers, surrounding me. So when I woke up, I was straight, I didn't know where I was, who I was, why everybody was so freaked out. And a lot of, just looking at everybody's facial expressions and being held down. They wanted to make sure my spine was okay and put me in a neck brace. But I think because I was in shock and because the near drowning experience and all the water in my lungs, I felt like I was still drowning. So when everybody was crowding me and kind of like talking to me, it was so much. There was too much going on.
Claustrophobic. You felt like you was probably
drowning. I felt like I was drowning. So all I wanted was space. I couldn't catch my breath. And I was basically just fighting for my life. A lot of lifeguards, Kyle Foyle, Dave Wassel, Jesse Tamayo, thank God for all of my rescuers and these professionals that risk their life to, put themselves in harm's way to save guys like me. And then, of course, all the other surfers, the first responders that seen me, Joaquin, Leo, Max, it's such a brotherhood, our big wave surfing community. So without all these angels and rescuers, I probably wouldn't be here.
So let's go back. I want to go from, obviously you can't remember, but you've probably seen the footage, I imagine, of watched it back, and you've had people probably tell you what happened, can you try to the best of your ability, obviously, like once you hit the second time and was knocked out, do you understand the process of events now from that to getting to the beach? Can you go through that for us?
Yeah, so I just from watching the videos and hearing stories, I haven't really like dissected it too much. I just know I made a bad mistake and it's life and death out there. So I'm really like having no recollection is also a blessing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank God for the helmet. Because my head went straight into the reef. My helmet is messed up.
No, you think
on
so?
This side of my head, on this side of my helmet, it's all scratched up. There's a quarter-size indentation, like where I definitely would have had like a hole in my head. So, and then all the scratches and stitches, staples, whatever would have happened, like would have been much more severe. So, it was second reefing that day. So I think Joaquin was the first surfer, first responder to really notice that I didn't come up and my board was tombstoning. Again, thank God for the leash and that not, breaking, because then it would have been a whole nother scenario. But Joaquin, I heard he was really like, he didn't stop looking and paying attention to my wipeout and my board, so he knew that I didn't surface. And he was the first guy to come in. And then there were several others, but Joaquin, Max Beach, and Leo Friavanti, I think were the first guys to actually get to my body and hang on to me through the impact zone and all those second reef sets. So like maybe, without them holding on to me, my leash would have broke or who knows what would have happened. But those guys holding on to me and ideally like trying to get my head above water so, brain damage doesn't severely kick in. It's all time. So those guys were so fast and so on it. And like, I've been around a lot of accidents out there. I've been a first responder to Dusty Payne. I watched Kalani catch his wave, and I was right there during that whole rescue scenario and not actually being helped, just like realizing like the severity of it, and then also realizing that what could I do? Like there was already Uncle Terry and Nathan and Seth already fishing them out of the water. So I felt like, me going into that extreme situation would have just almost been more chaotic or more worse. So just being around there or being around big waves, you see all these, like, it just happens time after time. So it's not if, like you said, it's when. So by that time, those three guys that got to me first, they ended up taking like a 10, 12 footer on the head and somehow hung on to me through all that turbulence and impact zone. And then the next wave of surfers, Uncle Mike and Arjuna coming in from second reef, and then also guys coming off the beach, Billy Kemper, Zeke Lau, Cole Rothman. Like, by the grace of God, Billy caught a backwash out from the beach to me, directly to me. So, so thankful and so thankful to be alive and for all those guys that responded and acted in that life and death situation, because a lot of times when you see that stuff like going on, like you're gonna risk your life and so that being said, you just want to be calculated and hope for the best possible outcome. You're preparing for the worst but hoping for the best. And there's so much luck and Mother Nature, like she turns on, she turns off, she gives and she takes. So.
Yeah, and then you get to the beach, and obviously the North Shore lifeguards, take over. They grab you. They probably make sure your spine, backs, everything's drag you up the beach, carry you up the beach, and then at this stage you're still out, right? You're unconscious. They start working on you.
Yeah, so I was out until getting to the beach. I believe I don't know who it was who gave me chest compressions, maybe Kyle Foyle or Dave, but from when the jet ski Jesse got to me, and the surfers that were, hung on to me, finally getting fished up onto the jet ski, got beached with those guys, and yeah, chest compressions began, and that's when life came back to me. It literally was, yeah, I've had a lot of like euphoric moments before in the past, and being out this time, there was nothing. There was no lights. It was just darkness, and then all of a sudden, like it was reborn and reawakening. Life was just given back to me, and those guys, like, because when you knock out underwater or hit the reef, like your body is limp, so you're being ragdolled, and normally when we wipe out, like, you're kind of tense, you don't want your limbs to break off or your bones to break, so your body's surfing to your best ability. But being underwater, not tense, being limp, ragdoll mode, that's when the lifeguards and everybody like thought, a first instinct is like, protect the spine and the neck. So yeah, they were trying to put me on the backboard and put my neck into the brace, and I wasn't having none of it. It wasn't like intentional. It was just like, felt like I'm fighting for my life. I didn't know where I was, who I was, and who these people were. Just like, it was a lot. So yeah, once the life was given back to me, it was pretty intense, and for sure, like, my girlfriend was there and her friends. So thank God, like, for those rescuers, the guardian angels, but also all the prayers and good vibes. Like, there's a lot of people that just started praying, and I believe in God heavily, and the higher power, so I offer myself up to God, and just like, I'm in deep gratitude, and
Yeah.
I'm so thankful to be here.
And how long did it take you to sort of, you come back to life, like life's given back to you, and then like you said, you felt like you were still drowning, and everyone, you just wake up to this, everyone crowding you. And how long did it take you to sort of just get a grip of like, holy shit, like, okay, now I'm starting to sort of understand what's happened. I'm sort of able to like relax a little bit more and just sort of like, yeah, because it must have been a crazy situation.
Yeah, I wasn't able to relax at all for even still right now.
Yeah.
I'm still in a lot of trauma, and from the 2 TBIs that like really severely messes with you. So yeah, just life was given back to me on the beach, and all my friends were there, and I could see their eyes and their facial expressions, and people were shook, and there was a lot of people that were still positive and like giving me positive like hope, because yeah, freaking so leaving the beach, I don't know who I left the beach with. I wasn't able to really walk by myself, but I tried to stand up, and thank God Pomai and the boys like really carried me up to the ambulance, and I got into the ambulance, and I just remember being so thirsty, like the worst,
Wow,
crazy thirst that I've ever, like, yeah, just was so thirsty, and all the professionals were telling me, no, don't drink water, no, because secondary drowning can occur. So I didn't really understand that, and I wasn't having any of it. So I made my girlfriend give me water, and it was literally like the fountain of youth right there. There was so much water in my lungs, so I couldn't really like take a breath and recover. So got into the ambulance, and I was just coughing up salt water and blood and from the pulmonary edema that just, yeah, shook me so hard. But all my friends ended up being there right at the ambulance, and it was right there at Eukai, and kind of like they were all just giving me so much hope and encouragement, and that really meant the world to me, seeing their facial expressions and gave me a lot of hope to hang in there, because I was out of it, still trying to just take it day by day, moment by moment. But yeah, so kind of I remember the ambulance doors closing and seeing Landon McNamara's face, and he just gave me so much hope and encouragement. He he was so positive and his spirits were up. And a lot of people's facial expressions are just like, they're shook, you know? So
Yeah.
looking at those facial expressions wasn't really helping me out. But then the people who were staying positive and giving me hope, that
Yeah.
like that meant the world to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, what a story, Mikey, man. God said, you know, it's just the beauty and the beast of Pipeline, right? You know, you look at it and go, yeah, it's so crowded. There's so many people, but you know what? Imagine if there was only 5 guys out. You know, like I'm sure you've gone, you know what I mean? Like lucky that there were so many guys there, so many people there, and so many people that have probably done give a shout out to the BRAG, the BWAG course, you know, that all these surfers that have done all this training and understand like how important it is to be that first responder, you know, and as gnarly as Pipeline is, it's maybe the best place to get hurt, you know, because the lifeguards are so close and there's so many people in the water and nearly everyone knows what to do, you know, and yeah,
Right.
heavy shit.
Yeah. So yeah, huge thank you to the Bragg class, and you know, Daniello and Cole and Sion and all the guys that paved the way, because Uncle Brian and all the watermen out there. And to you young guys, and to you guys thinking about, you know, signing up for this whole, you know, lifestyle, let me tell you, it should be a requirement for you to go through life-saving skills classes and to re-up your skills and to learn CPR and just do the basics, you know, the C-spine, and do what you can, because if I see you out there and yeah, you don't look confident, or you know, you don't have the skills to be out there, I'm gonna tell you straight, get the fuck out of here, because it's not only your life that is in jeopardy, it's guys like me. So yeah, I take every precaution seriously. Like, I've been a junior lifeguard since before I was a teenager. My siblings are lifeguards. All my heroes are first responders. My mom, you know, working in the hospital, the ICU. She was a nurse in ICU for 40 years over in Hilo. And yeah, so for me, just having that background, I feel really fortunate, but the learning never ends. And it's constant. You always want to just surround yourself with people who know what they're doing and have the skills to save your life.
Yeah.
Life and death.
Good words, mate. Good words. And so, just, you know, in summary, how are you feeling now? You know, the doctors say you're going to make a full recovery. What's the recovery process look like for you now?
Yeah. So, taking it day by day. Like I said, I still feel pretty jacked up. My body still feels pretty ragdoll. My spine is like, thank God, everything is like, you know, I have all my teeth. I have no broken bones. I have no lacerations. All my limbs are intact. So I'm just so grateful for all these, those rescuers and God and everybody that, you know, said those prayers, because I know how easily life can slip away. So, yeah,
Yeah,
life's
man.
a trip.
Your life's a trip.